The content, views, and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the producer and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the City of Bremerton, BCAT, their officials, or their employees.
Hello, I'm Elise of Joyful Plant, and welcome to Gardening Through Art. Today we will paint a Norwegian-style napkin holder in the Agder style using a simple Rosemaling pattern. The Setesdal and Agder styles come from the southern central region of Norway, which includes three distinct folk art traditions. Setesdal in the Central Valley, where much of my family is from, Vest-Agder to the west, and Ost-Agder to the east. In a recent class I took with Vesterheim gold medalist Patty Goke, we studied pieces from the late 1800s that clearly show the differences among these regional styles. Let's get started. If you are following along at home, you'll want a prepared wooden piece, transfer paper or chalk, oil paint set, a flat number 2 brush, a round number 0 brush, and a clear sealant. Additional supplies include sandpaper, odorless paint thinner, cloth towels or Q-tips, and walnut oil. While each region has its own hallmark motifs, painters traveled and shared ideas, so it's not unusual to see styles overlap. This design is an adaptation of a few others inspired by a pattern by Patty Goke. As we begin a project, we can start either with a transfer paper with a pattern that is already prepared, or you can use chalk and take a design to make it yours. Patty Goke does teach a Setesdal design class, and we're going to create a loosely inspired piece. Most of the time it starts with a large scroll, and there's always a root to the design. As always, we're using our C strokes and our S strokes to keep the design consistent. So if you're using a chalk, you can sharpen it if you'd like. You can create a little bit of your own design, but still learning the elements that keep it authentic to the folk art. And we have prepared brushes. We like to dip just a little bit in walnut oil. We get a small amount on both sides of the brush, and we can hold up our hand in a way that steadies it. So you can start at the inside of the root of the design here in that central scroll using nice steady pressure. Sometimes it takes a couple times. If I run out of paint, I can reload. Eventually we'd like to have a nice smooth stroke, but sometimes it takes even dabbing little bits of paint along the way to pick up paint while you run the brush over. So you can fill in with a C stroke, picking it up lightly and bringing it into the root of the design. We use our Fibonacci sequence or golden spiral of about 2/3. Then from the root of the design here, we will have another scroll coming off to the side. Okay. And filling in parts of the flowers. We still are using our C strokes. They might be a little bit less since these are split leaf flowers. So there's a central stroke here and some C strokes. You're welcome to have some patience with yourself as you learn. As we do our S strokes, we have a very light touch and then pressing down and bring it up to the chisel end of the brush again. Same thing on the other side. It can take sometimes, they say, even 40 hours of practice before you feel quite comfortable with the muscle memory involved. And just like anything else we do, it can get rusty when we don't practice. So hopefully it's an enjoyable process, even if it feels more prescriptive than other styles of painting. We have fantasy flowers, so they're not particular flowers in reality, although the Os style of painting does use a lot more realistic style. And we're going to transfer our color, so you can wipe the brush. You don't have to, excuse me, you don't have to clean the brush completely. It's okay for the style to allow some blending of the colors. We'll dip it in some oil and get some of this yellow ochre. One of the most accessible styles to start Rosemaling is the telemark style, and you can find some of those lessons as well on BCAT. And sometimes we use different timing so that your colors don't blend. Oil paint can take hours to days to weeks to dry. Some people prefer to paint in acrylics, which are a lot shorter of a time frame. But the blending can be enjoyable. Keeps it interesting. And it's different for every style. And we'll use a little bit of this blue, Prussian blue mixed with burnt umber is a staple color. It's not too stark of a blue. It's quite dark. And that can be a little bit of the shapes around this flower. Now, I am relatively new to this style of painting. There are a lot of people who have been doing this for a lifetime, and I love to learn from those who have practiced it for a long time. There. And eventually we move on to a smaller brush, although I think I will try to clean it off for a little bit of these white features here. They're almost like berries. Again, it's not a stark white, but it's almost like a putty. Has a mixture of the yellow ochre. And we don't need to mix the paint with an oil, but we can dip the brush in the oil. Sometimes it might be a little bit fuzzy around the edges, or you're not getting the right shape that you want. And that can also be fixed with the liner brush. So we have a little bit of a feature at the bottom here. We'll add some of the red. And just a little bit of oil can go a long way. Similarly with the paint, a little bit of oil paint also goes a long way. We use a little more oil when we start to go into the liner. And I'm using this box that was made by our friend Bill Keller in Port Orchard. He's a very skillful carpenter. And as I mentioned, Patty Goke created the design. So we'll make sure we take good care of our brushes. You can use either a longer liner, script liner, or something shorter. I like to alternate a little bit and use a complementary color or something that makes the painting stand out. Using a hand to steady and C strokes, light touch, and press and up. And you can get a little bit creative. Usually our liner color will go along with the color that is the base. And let's see, I think we do a yellow around the red, although the central scroll does go well with that deep blue. So let's keep the deep blue for the central scroll. And following around the spiral. If your brushes get a little bit dry, you can work on taking extra care of the bristles. It does make a difference in the quality. And you can order brushes from Blick, or there are some local brush art places like the Artist's Edge or Artists and Craftsman Supply in Tacoma and Seattle. Agder and Setestal styles are very ornate. They could take many hours, and this is just really going to be a small briefing on how that looks. So we do a lot of teardrops where you set the brush down gently. It should always be pointing toward the root of the design unless you're working on a flower, in which case they would point toward the center of the flower. So you might turn your piece while you're working on it. Or do your best, and if you don't like it, you can wipe it off and try it again. It can take several hours to complete a piece. I'll try this brush now for a little bit of oil and some of the yellow to line the bottom here. Again, it's okay if it blends or if the colors sort of get muddy together. It does show your signature as you paint and make it look human. It's not going to be perfect. Although there are people who are extremely skilled, try to go easy on yourself if you're just trying this out. Or even if you've been painting for a while, it's okay for it to turn out differently than you expect. And you want it to be almost like a melted butter consistency. Make sure that it gives enough spread. And they often don't overlap. It's nice to start with your own patterns so that you have that visual spacing. But I wanted to give us a challenge and try something that was a little bit more fun, a little bit more whimsy, and to try to put it on this interesting napkin holder piece. We generally work from the larger parts to the smaller parts, or you can work through the colors if you'd like. So I thought this dragon would like a little bit of a flower-shaped eye. You can really let the paintbrush do the work, setting it down gently on the tip, pressing it down, and bringing it up. If you're using oil paints, you'll want to make sure you're in a well-ventilated area and that you don't have your children or pets in a way that would make them vulnerable to exposure. That's supposed to be a lot thinner than that. So if it doesn't turn out exactly how you like, you can always go back. It is paint, so you can go back even with the background color and and fix it if you'd like. We have these teardrops pointed toward the center of the design. They almost look like a fern. And we have some pieces that are lining here. You can even create an oval in the center and really make it your own. There's such a balance between the creative expression and learning the old forms. Rosemaling was considered a dying art even 50 years ago when the Western Rosemalers Association started. And folks in Decorah, Iowa decided to keep it going. So did Florence Buck and Mary Ellerman. So they founded the Western Rosemalers Association. It takes some practice to get something that looks round or the same size. Sometimes you can use either a skewer or some type of a round implement to create a consistent shape. So with this one, I think I might just dab the end of the brush in some white and see if I can get a nice flower center. And then we'll use a little bit of yellow. They keep these colors kind of subdued. If you're interested in this style, you can start looking at some of the designs by some of the artists in Norway in the 17 and 1800s. They painted wooden objects that are mostly useful items, although you can certainly paint things that you can hang on your wall. And you can decide how much detail you really want to put in. It's all right to do this in different phases. It might not be quite as elaborate the first go around. So we'll just add a few more details, and perhaps the second time around you can create all the outer details that you desire. Tiny teardrops, some lining, and something for the central flower will be teardrops along the sides. Some forms of rosemaling are more symmetrical than others. That is certainly something to learn. So one more little tiny flower center. Thicken that. And for now, we can call that good. Today, we enjoyed Agder-style Rosemaling on a napkin holder. Thank you for joining us. You're invited to share your work on social media with the hashtag gardeningthroughart and find more tutorials on joyfulplant.com. See you next time.